Hey guys, Sean here from Tesla Family. Take a look at these bluebird skies above us. That means it's perfect conditions to go out for a mountain bike ride. Now we've got 3 mountain bikes here at Tesla Family, and if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I've carried my 3 bikes on top of my Model 3 on a roof rack. But this Tesla Model Y here has a 2-inch receiver on it. So now we need a hitch-mounted bike rack. Well, I just picked up a rack and it's in the back of the Model Y. Let's take a look. This is my new Kuat Transfer V2 2-bike hitch-mounted bike rack. But we got a little bit of a problem because I have 3 bikes I got to bring on the trail. So how are we going to handle that? Let me show you how I think we've solved this problem, and it's underneath this rack. Kuat makes an add-on for the Transfer V2. We're going to be able to open this up as well with the bike rack, add on to the rack, and we'll be able to carry around 3 bikes. There is an option that you can add up to 2 of these add-ons to carry 4 bikes, but we only need to carry around 3 bikes. All right, let's head inside the Tesla Family garage and unbox this bike rack, get it mounted up, and hit the trail. All right, I'm here in the garage. Let's use Tesla's Summon feature to bring the car into the garage without a driver. Pretty cool. Voila. Okay, before we open the box, let's take a look at some of the features here on the outside. So the Transfer V2 2-bike rack from Kuat is a wheel-held platform rack with a 2-bike capacity, 60-pound max per bike. It holds wheelbases up to 50 inches. It holds up to 5-inch tires with a fat tire kit. We don't have any fat tire bikes here at Tesla Family, so we'll skip that part. A foot lever pivot for rapid fold up and tilt down. That's going to be nice. Semi-integrated cable locks included. Love the fact that they got the locks included. Tamper resistant flat lock hitch cam keeps the rack secure. Expandable with the Transfer V2 1-bike add-on. We've got that, and we're going to put that on as well. And then the no worries warranty from Kuat. Also pretty cool from Kuat is that they're a proud sponsor of programs like the National Forest Foundation, and a portion of the proceeds from each rack helps to plant trees in carefully selected areas. And of course, we're going to consider taking time to recycle the box when we're done. All right, time to open up the rack. All right, first thing, Kuat gave us this little card holder here. It says, love your bike or heart your bike. And looks like in the rack here we do have some assembly required. It's not fully put together. We do have, you can see the outline of the rack here with some of the parts for the wheel holders and a big box here we're gonna have to open up and put together. So here we go. Got the rack together. It took me about 30 to 35 minutes to put it together, and definitely requires a decent amount of assembly. Very similar to like if you bought some furniture, some sort of table at a store, and it comes in a box and you got to put it together. So not too long, but there are several steps involved using the tools that they included, which was cool. They gave us the tools that you needed to put the rack together and several different types of bolts in different positions. So we're all set. All right, let's see how much the 2-bike rack weighs, and then we'll put it on the hitch before adding on the add-on. Okay, I've got the rack on. the scale here. Basically, the rack looks like it's going to be weighing about 41 pounds. Let's see here. Yeah, 40.6, about 41 pounds with just the 2-bike setup. Okay, I've got the rack and the receiver. Next step is to put this hitch pin and cotter pin in through the hole on the receiver. Okay, that's going to keep the rack from sliding out, even if it does come loose. And then we're going to go down low here where there is a Allen screw we're going to tighten with a security pin on it, on this little Allen key. And that's going to keep it from wobbling. All right, to keep it from wobbling, now we're going to come in here and you can see the Allen screw here. That's a security Allen screw. This is going to be the foot lever that we're going to use to lower it when we're ready, but for now we're going to use this and tighten it down. Looks like there's actually the security pin is on this side too, so we're going to have to keep this with us when we're tightening down. Turn it to the right. And we should be removing any wobble. There's still a lot of wobble there, but you gotta keep cranking. It's probably pretty good right there. I'm actually giving it a shake and there's no wobbling. So there we are mounted. Okay, if you want to know what the 2-bike Kuat Transfer version 2 bike rack looks like folded up on the back of Model Y, here we go. It looks pretty sharp here. I really like that with 2 bikes, the length of the rack in the folded up position does not rise above the rear trunk line. We can see that the rack doesn't block the tail lights, which is good. It also allows your license plate to be visible, and probably most importantly, the rear camera has a really good view through this window here. And from the inside of Model Y, we can see here, yep, sure enough, the rear camera does have really good visibility looking backward. Although even with this amount of visibility, the Model Y will give you dings and backup alerts when you're using reverse, whether that's just backing up manually or using auto park. Okay, so I showed you the Kuat Transfer V2 2-bike setup. Now we're going to go ahead and unbox the Transfer V2 add-on, and we're going to turn the 2-bike setup into a 3-bike setup. Let's go ahead and do that. What we'll be doing here is removing the end caps, placing on these coupler end caps, adding on these 2 extensions, and securing them with these long bolts, and then adding the end caps back on again. Here we go. Now that we've installed the add-on, we can carry 3 bikes on my Kuat Transfer V2. Let's see how much the rack weighs and then we'll get it mounted up to Model Y. It took me about 30 minutes to put the add-on onto the rack. I'm sure I could do it much quicker now that I've done it the first time, so I'm not sure if I'll leave it on or take it off in between using it with 2 bikes and 3 bikes. Alright, we have 53.1 pounds for the Kuat V2 Transfer with the 3-bike setup. That's about 12 pounds lighter than the old 1-up 3-bike rack that I had. So 12 pounds is actually quite significant when you're taking this thing off a car and putting it back on. So I'm glad to have a lighter rack. All right, so we got the Kuat Transfer version 2 3-place bike rack here, all assembled, but I wanted to show you before we mount it up to the Model Y how I store it. This is actually a pretty cool little device that I found on Amazon. This is called the Hitch wall mount on Amazon. It's a pretty simple steel mount that you just mount to the wall. I've got a masonry wall here, so I use some Tapcons to mount it, but if you have a wood wall, you could likely just use some nice long wood screws to hold it up. So this can hold up to 300 pounds, and it's a pretty cheap way, and actually a really nice way of being able to store your rack, so it's not just laying all over, you know, the garage floor or wherever you keep it. It's up here out of the way, and I just really have been enjoying storing my bike rack this way. So you can see it mounted to the wall, and the hitch is just sitting in there. All right, let's mount the rack up to the Model Y and see how it looks. When I originally mounted the 2-bike rack to my Model Y, I showed you this basic hitch pin that came with the Kuat Transfer version 2. But I want a little more security. So what I ended up doing is buying this Master Lock silver and red lockable receiver lock. And I like this much better. It just slides in there and we can keep the rack locked onto my Model Y so the rack doesn't get taken away from my car. If you're interested in adding this to your car, check out the link in the description for my Amazon affiliate link. So here's how the rack looks when mounted to the back of my Legacy Model Y with the 3-place bike rack installed. Again, this is my 2-position bike rack with the add-on folded up. You can see it does extend up above the tailgate line. It doesn't really impact the rear view too bad. What I really like about this rack is it's not super wide. It doesn't block the tail lights. So we still get good visibility when I'm stopping. Of course, there's also visibility to the license plate too, which in some states, I guess, could be illegal to be driving around with the plate covered up. So you can drive around with the rack like this, but hey, gotta get some bikes put on this. Let's put the bikes on. I also like that you can walk into the rack when you open up these handles here. So it's really nice to be able to walk in. If you need to get something from the car, you can still reach it very well without having to reach from way back here. All right, there we go. All mounted up with 3 bikes on the back of my Model Y. We've got 2 29ers and my daughter's 24-inch mountain bike. We are ready to go for a ride. All right, I also want to add that the security cable that comes with the Kuat Transfer version 2 is plenty long enough to secure 2 bikes, 3 bikes, and even if we wanted to add one more, 4 bikes. So let me show you real quick. I usually wrap the cable around the frames of all the bikes, and if there's enough length, even go through the wheels. And secure your bike is as simple as just plugging it into the back of the rack. There we go. I'm gonna bring you around to the back of the car to show you what it looks like from behind, but then I'll also bring you on the inside to show you what the rear camera view is with the 3 bikes on the back. All right, so here it is with the 3 bikes on the back. It's kind of messy looking, but it's really the best way to carry 3 bikes, I think. You can't see much of the car or much of the tail lights, but you know, that's really one of the negatives of a hitch-mounted rack. If you remember back to how I used to carry my bikes before the Model Y, I used to carry them on the roof of my Model 3, and then there was no issues with any visibility of the license plate, rear camera, or the brake lights. All right, back inside the Model Y, you can see here with the 3 bikes on the back, much more camera blockage, and you know, you can still kind of see through, you know, certain parts of the bikes and down to the ground. So I guess you could still use the camera for backing up. Charging at a supercharger with all 3 bikes on the back is possible. Even with the 3 bikes on the back, I am able to reach the cord all the way around to the charge port and get that plugged in. So no issues with that, although I did have to have a spotter when we were backing up to the supercharger just to make sure I wasn't gonna bump into it. Plenty of room, but it's hard to see just from being inside the car here using only the camera. And then I wanna show you what it looks like when you are backing up. You can see here on the visualization, park assist is degraded, so you definitely cannot really use the auto park feature if you have full self-driving. And you can see this large area of red behind the car. The car thinks you're gonna hit something. So backing up here. Yeah, here are all the dings and the stops. That's what you're gonna get when you're backing up with the 3 bikes on the back, unfortunately. This Model Y demo does come with the trailer hitch, and I wanted to test out my 3-place bike rack here from Kuat. One concern I found out while installing is the hitch is actually very far inside under the bumper. You'll likely need to put an extension on here in order to run a hitch. Right now, I'm not able to put the hitch pin through the hole, so I just have it tightened down with the little tension screw here. All right, guys, hopefully you liked the video. Absolutely love my Kuat Transfer version 2 rack. Can carry these 3 bikes around, take them mountain biking. I even used the rack to carry 3 of our road bikes up to Michigan for a really fun bike tour we did this past summer. Again, a lot of pluses, really love it. In fact, we used to have a 1-up rack and I got rid of it because it was a little too heavy and this was just a better fit for me. If you're interested in adding this bike rack or any of the other accessories I'm using with the bike rack to your setup at home, check out the links in the description where I've got some Amazon affiliate links. The small commissions I earned from the sale definitely help out the channel. Thanks a lot. Well, if you have any questions, leave them down below. Give me a like if you like the video. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from Tesla family. It's time to hit the trails though, so I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching the video. If you really enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Tesla Family channel for free here on YouTube. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll get back to you soon. We really appreciate all of our subscribers and anyone who watches our videos. Thank you very much. Check out more of our content linked on the end screen of this video and on the videos, shorts, and playlist tabs. If you're on social media, follow us on X and like us on Facebook. Use my referral link to buy a new Tesla Model 3 or Model Y and you will get 3 months of free full self-driving or $500 off if you buy Tesla full self-driving with that 3 or Y. Or if you buy a new Model X, Model S, or Cybertruck, you can get $1,000 off. And use my referral link to buy solar panels and Powerwall installed by Tesla and save $400 off.